Alright, I'm here. I think I put out a little story. I figured instead of always being outside, I decided to do taping it inside. So, and I got one like without Chong in it today, so I'm trying to be adult-like here. But I made it over here. I'm afraid to open Snapchat things because people are sending me crazy stuff. It's like sexual things. So I've been avoiding trying to respond to people on Snapchat. But my cards are over here. I'm gonna start this thing. I'm not making the red thing no more. I'm just randomly starting another one because I just like to knit. I'm like the Mad Hatter of knitting. I think it's like the one activity I like to do the most. As odd as that sounds. But there we go. I figured I'm happy. I didn't know I had 3 people subscribed to me. I was very shocked and thank you. That's why I did want to make sure I didn't forget to say because that was awesome. I'm usually unnoticeable over here because I just, I don't know. I'm just here doing free tarot readings, and sometimes you can get, I don't know, it's just weirdville, I guess, for some people. So we don't get much love here. But I am trying to get my stories together. I did not get my MacBook yet, and I'm not happy about it. Because Brandon decided he wanted to bring me to a picnic. But the problem is at the moment I don't have a car, and nobody has a problem picking me up. It's dropped me off, and it's an hour away. And of course, his wife had attitude. They couldn't have the picnic on Saturday because I had to work the next day, and I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning. So it was like it was easier to stay home. I'm just gonna text Brandon probably after I get off the stream and all that, and just let him know that we could just reschedule. Because once I get that, I'm gonna start figuring out all these downloads to Amazon. I'm gonna start doing some short stories because I'm losing my mind over here. I like to be writing, and it drives me nuts when I'm not writing. But I know I have to practice public speaking and different things. Because being a writer involves a lot of different things. Just like Stephen King acted in his own movies and yada yada yada. So I'm over here and I'm trying. I think I'm doing better with the whole social thing. I really do. I mean, I usually find, I guess, when I think I'm used to like hearing words in my head. So sometimes, you're not the most sociable when you're hearing words in your head all the time. And it's usually because my mind's always wanting to write a book all the time. So this is why I need this MacBook, but it says he's going to bring it. And hopefully he gets his taxes done. He says I'm not going to jail, but I don't like to be behind and things like that. The tax man took down Al Capone, so that's a lot. I would not mess with the IRS. That should be their little saying. Don't mess with the IRS. They will find out Absolutely, if you were frauding them, you're better off just to stay honest. It makes your life a whole lot easier because once you hit penalties and your taxes, it's they have a field day with you over there. So, just a little tip. I wouldn't want anybody to have problems like I've had problems. It wasn't even me. It was it was my ex-husband. Crazy. I mean, I didn't do any of it, so none of it came on me, but I had a lot of tax problems. Now I just don't care. I live within my means. I'm not trying to fight with the tax man. I'm just okay with it, I guess. So, but I guess that's just the update of what I've been doing. But if there's anyone out there, I don't have a problem with answering your thing. I got the cards right here if you want to hear. I mean, if you don't like me or you think I'm weird, it's okay too. I would probably think I'm weird too. I'm just here to socialize. Maybe, talk to you guys, talk about, I mean, once I get this computer, I'm going to be stressed out. And I guess these blogs kind of help me gather my thoughts too, in a weird way. Because if I had a brainstorm or if I wanted to like start writing one short story, but I wanted to see like just hear it real quick, my idea, I could do that. So this comes in very handy over here. I like to call this the library. I'm starting to do well over here, and I like that, but I'm not the most sociable. I'm like going in a really popular mall, the one weird store way at the end, where people don't know what it is. That's what my channel is sometimes. And I guess I am a little out there when you see dead people and stuff. You're going to be a little out there, so I just embrace it, and I'm okay with it. I really am. At first, I wasn't. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm okay with it now. It took a long time to be okay with it. This is why I would not do this for a living. It's fun to do tarot card readings when you're socializing or something, but I'm gonna stick to all my little jobs I got going on. But I don't mind. I mean, I usually do this for my friends, and I kind of miss doing this with my friends' tarot readings. So I guess that's another reason I come over here, because it's not like I can bring the pop to the party. Because when you have a proper gathering, there's generally beverages. We're talking over a phone, so I just try to I don't know, make it almost three-dimensional, I guess, in a sense. I'm low budget here. I'm like that crazy person in all those volcano movies that says, "I'm staying right here in my land as the volcano comes out." But I'm not that crazy. I would be that crazy person in the log cabin gathering up my belongings and getting Chong and getting out. And that'd be about it. But I would be in the person in the cabinet, but I would leave. I see that I love movies about weather and natural disasters. They're fun. I love them so much. I watch them all. It fascinates me. I mean, I have an uncanny. It's kind of scary, but I have an uncanny thing for them. Maybe it's just because I'm so fascinated with space and what's out there and stuff. It really humbles me to know that we are in all these between these galaxies and black holes, and we're still standing. We shouldn't be, but we are, and it's so weird. So I guess I'm that person that likes to study this stuff. That's why I call this the library, because I'm gonna start working on my books. I'm just that weird person everybody kind of checks on every once in a while, and that's okay because I don't you don't expect to talk to someone every single day all the time. That's a lot. That's like a marriage almost. So I wouldn't expect that out of you. Whatever I wouldn't do personally, I wouldn't want you to do. And if you find me boring, I just, that's when I don't usually subscribe to channels when I don't have that liking for them. To me, I like real basic things, watching people build stuff and things like that. But I always kind of wanted it to get bigger on Facebook because it's really good for writers. It really is. You can get a lot of attention with writing over there. And it's always the simple writing they like over there. The stuff I think isn't good, they like. It's weird. The stuff I like is really flamboyant and flowing and stuff, and some of the stuff they like isn't as flowing and candescent. It really isn't. I try to bring a little, I don't know, different writing over there. Because people don't want to see the same kind of writing all the time. It gets boring. Writing is like a flavor of the week. I can do horror writing, which is my favorite. I love it. Love scenes is hard for me to write, I guess, because sometimes you really get, it's a real emotional scene. But sometimes I can put it and think of it like a heroic death, and then I can usually bring a love scene. But I do try to be conscientious of kind of the things that make sense when I write and don't make sense. And I try. I mean, I think any good writer should be conscientious of how they put their phrases and stuff because it's what we do. It's a writer's job. And a writer's job sometimes could be very tedious. I mean, my favorite place in the world is a library. I really like the library. I think when the world happened, I would get a lot of food and I just hang out in the library. You get bored, you read your books, there's bathrooms. I don't know how long the plumbing would last. So that would be an issue. And then eventually people would burn the books, like in that one movie. Oh my god, I can't never think of the name of these movies. It's crazy. You think I would remember, but I don't. But I forgot the exact name of the movie, but they were in the storm and they were in New York. I'm sure you've seen it. It was like one of the big ones of like 5 years ago. But anyway, anywho, they got in the library and they kind of seeked refuge and they were reading, and this would be one heck of a good idea to do if the end of the world came. I guess if that library was next to like stores and stuff, that would even be nicer. Like if you had one library and then you had all the stores and stuff, and the grocery stores, and then people would be fighting for the food, probably killing each other. So I don't know the answers, but it would be nice if that library was connected to all that, especially if zombies came. If zombies came, there would be issues. You know, you'd have to do the classic zombie thing. You'd have to, I don't know, I guess you'd have to do like they did in The Walking Dead, just make huge fences around things. I mean, you would have to find a place that has fencing and extend fencing. I mean, eventually you'd have to do that and then have a person that has a job that checks all the fencing. And that would be a hell of a job there. Can you imagine a zombie apocalypse being the one that checks the fencing? If the fencing's not good, you're getting eaten. I mean, that would be, I would not want that job. I would have to vote for another job. You know, I couldn't cook. Maybe I could, like, knit the sweaters or something for everybody and clean and organize. That's what a job I would like for the apocalypse. If there's job openings open, I would have to. See, I think that these random thoughts. I like to think of fun things. If you let life beat you up and you get too serious and everything, that's when things like this happen in your life. So I try to just enjoy the time I got. Like I told my son, if I was to die tomorrow, I got these live streams so they can hear my voice. Thought it'd be perfect. And my son was like, "Stop talking like that," but it's kind of true. I told him I'd leave them the. I don't know how you would go about doing like a will thing with YouTube. Told him I would leave them all my passwords and how to get to everything. So in the event if I died, you know, they can get to things. Because I don't want to have to go through court and everything. Because it was a big event. I forgot when it happened. See, to me, it doesn't seem that long ago, but I think it was like over 10 years ago. But it was crazy because they had to get the son just suddenly died, and they had, well, long story short, he posted some pictures on there. He was in college and stuff, and his mom on the pictures. And they couldn't find him, but only on Facebook, and they had to go to court over it. It was crazy. But it wasn't really anybody's fault. It was the law was so strict about it. But finally, the judge granted it because it was his mom and he died. But I think now, if he was to die, if he was to give permission and stuff like that and give people your passwords, I think that would be okay. I mean, you're dead, and whoever you want to make sure, like, if they're grieving you, to hear you talk. I mean, I would think that this would be a thing in Facebook. I mean, I'm not dying in nothing, but you never know. You could wake up dead, and if you wake up dead, you wake up. You would. You. I guess you would wake. If you woke up, you wouldn't be dead. But if you didn't wake up, you know, it is what it is. Anybody can have an aneurysm at any point in their life. If you work too much and kill your knees, you're gonna be in bad health and die sooner. So I make choices sometimes. Well, I decided to try to start putting my stuff on Amazon, and I'm waiting on the MacBook. 'Cause you gotta roll the dice in life sometimes. 'Cause it's important. I mean, it's given me a good experience, YouTube actually, because I feel like when I was in school, I was so shy and I didn't know how to talk to people well. And being over here does help me because I'm able to communicate better, I guess they say, and be more relaxed in a conversation, which is huge for me. Huge. Because I'm always thinking one thing, usually what I want to write next. So I'm not very good at the social. I'm trying to get better at the social, and with talking and interacting with different people. But it is the one thing I'm passionate about is my writing. That's why I I'm not gonna say ill things about her, but if they lived a little closer, this wouldn't have been an issue, and I would have had my MacBook. But I guess I'll get it probably sometime later this week. So instead of working on it, I will just work on my knitting. I figure, but I guess I like blogging. To me, this is kind of like a long vlog and saying, getting thoughts out of the day, like you would a regular conversation with a person when you come home from school or something. And it's probably better for me and probably good. So I figured, that's what I'm going to do every day. And just the random little things, not too personal. Yeah, you could come over here, just something like you would tell a coworker or something. I mean, I don't go in personal details because I'm worried about these people that raid your house. And I'm just honestly just trying to chill and just be Chong. I'm just part of the Chong underground over here. I'm not. I'm a nice person that I am, but I can be a little sarcastic sometimes. And sometimes I can have potty mouth and stuff. So, I mean, I understand. And sometimes I just like that grungy stuff because I have such a potty mouth. It's humorous to me and it's awful. I'm not supposed to like it, but it is funny and I do like it. But you like what you like in life. I mean, what can you do? I mean, to, to live and live happy makes a happy soul. That's what I was always told, at least. So, but I do love my knitting. I actually look forward to come streaming over here so I can knit, and because it's relaxing, I can unwind. Even though it looks like I'm not unwinding, I am because my brain is going a million miles a minute, and the knitting helps slow it down. It's weird. It's always like that. It takes my mind off of overload. And sometimes it does go in overload. Especially when I'm coming off work, thinking of work things and thinking of what bank things, thinking of these things. The next thing I know, I have so many things I just wanna like go alone and live in a cave. And this does happen from time to time. That's why I don't mind I mean, I don't live in an apartment that's horrible, but it's nice. I mean, it's by no standards a big fancy anything. It is a fancy apartment, though. I was hoping to get something a little cheaper so I could do something with my life. I don't feel like I do enough with my life. I really don't. I guess I have high aspirations and I get these goal sets all the time, and my brain's always moving and my brain never stops. It's terrible. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking of things. This is why I need medical marijuana sometimes. It helps. It helps calm me down, helps calm down when I'm thinking of three, four things at the same time, helps center it out, and it's like so nice. I actually smoked a bowl before he came on stream because it just helps me focus and talk like a normal person. It's at a point sometimes where I can have a conversation with somebody, but I just feel awkward because I'm used to being alone so much. So I guess that's why I'm obsessed with words. But I haven't really been practicing my speech delivery at all. So it's raw and it's grungy. I mean, I did take speech when I was in college, and I was trying to remember like the different kind of formats like you would have in school with these different live streamings I do, and sometimes it's rough. I'm not gonna lie. Those stories could be brutal trying to get those out, but I try to do it like a broadcasting thing, and we don't have a lot of money sometimes. It's you improvise, but I'm doing pretty good for improvising. I have my phone on a box so far, and it's in a perfect position. It never is in the stream at all, and the box holds the phone up perfectly, so I don't have to hold the phone, and it saves money all the way around. But I try to find these little setups because I don't want to be behind on my bills. I just hope that maybe one day in my life I can. I mean, I don't sleep a lot because I got a sleeping problem. So I can actually work and write because as long as I sleep at least 4 hours a day, I'm usually good. They say Mozart, he was reading this documentary and he slept intervals a day. I think they said like it was like a microseconds. I think one of them, I think it was Chopin and Mozart he would sleep like an hour after he was up every 10 hours. And then when he got really exhausted after writing an amazing piece for the piano, he just tapped out. I found that very interesting. But yeah, I do have sleeping problems, but not to that extreme. I mean, as long as I take I need at least a 2 or 3 hour nap if I've been up for 18 hours. Mozart wasn't doing that, but I guess if you get your body used to anything, it'll do it. So, What can you do? I've been actually cutting back on my coffee and it's been helping. I do have some caffeine, but not a lot. I try to wake up naturally more now, and it's kind of working, I guess. So, I gotta work tomorrow, and then I'll have 2 days off. But then I gotta work 5 days in a row. And it's gonna really be horrible. So those will probably be shorter streams, honestly, on that day. Is I mean, on the days I have off, I could probably maybe. I kind of like the atmosphere at night with the terrace. But then I gotta watch because the husband's always doing something that would get me kicked off the stream. It's the music on YouTube. He's always playing it. And then he's singing to it. And none of it's legal. None of it. So I just try to do what I can do before he gets home. Because there's all kinds of violations going on once he gets home. He loves YouTube. It's his favorite place. And that's the first thing he hops on in YouTube. But we did watch Netflix. I did watch that. I was watching The Connors. And it was after Roseanne, I guess. She was sick and hurt her knee or whatever. I seen episode one. It was, I mean, for the Roseanne fans out there. I guess they were saying about the abuse of pills, and I kind of remember this episode when I was in the 90s. I remember, and I guess she overdosed on pills, and they did like a spin off trying to take Roseanne out of it, but it didn't last long. It didn't last long at all. So, I don't know. It was pretty interesting. At least you got to see like that they have. I got the part where it was her funeral and they were finding pills around the house, and I got to that part, and I don't know how deep they go with it though. I don't know if that's just like a spin off because they had on the one they had Roseanne's husband. They had him honestly in one of them where he died and she was upset and it was a nightmare. So it might be one of those. So I don't know. But it was pretty good. I just loved the sassiness of Rosie and she just was so funny. I used to watch Family Ties all the time too. I used to love them. There's not a lot of interesting things to watch with this new strain of entertainment. It seems like everybody's always goes on YouTube and it's kind of I don't know. I guess I like the openness where you have accessibility and stuff, but then it was more fun when it was kind of like in the 80s and 90s. I don't know. I'm getting used to it though. It's kind of hard to get used to. But I do have my tarot cards because I think I put it in the little question. I'm getting better at this question area. This is why I called over here the library. Because you got, when you do these live streams, there's a question area. Like you fill out a little questionnaire when you're getting out a book. And I do like, I try to keep a collection of all my works and my playlist and all that over here. So, and I guess in a lot of ways, this is my library. Because I do feel secure and protected over here. I'm not going to have crazy people bothering me over here, which is nice. And I appreciate it because I'm trying to just kind of see where this live streaming honestly is going. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll be horrible. Maybe I'll be good. I goes. It's one of those things you just see how you do with it, or what you're doing wrong with it. I mean, I try. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing sometimes. I've studied a couple different styles, but I kind of I do see that people are cooking or this or that, but honestly, most of the time I'm just knitting. Because I was sick and I had I had a polyp, and I had to go on antibiotics for a while, and it just got my body to where I just eat a lot of healthy things. So it's not like I'm snacking all the time. So I see myself doing more arts and crafts, and this happens a lot. But it does benefit the house. My one friend says I do old world knitting. I just don't like the newer ways. You sit there and I just think this is a better way with the needles. And I recommend these guys on YouTube. They're excellent, excellent knitters. Excellent. I gotta learn, teach myself to crochet again. I got all these little crocheting needles, so I'm probably gonna go over there and practice up my crocheting because I seen some really nice crochet blankets, and everybody tells me knitting is harder than the crocheting. So, and everybody's just like, I don't know how you do that. I go, it's easy. You just loop and go under. But I don't know. I'm just good at, for some reason, I'm just good at knitting, and I just like it for some dang reason. I'm not even that old enough to be knitting all day, and I am. But sometimes when you don't have a lot of money, but you want a nice little hobby, it's actually fun. It passes the time, and you can relax your mind, and it actually makes your mind move. It's kind of like doing puzzles, because they say you don't get Alzheimer's if you do puzzles every day. So if you think about it, knitting it's a puzzle and you're constantly making your brain work. Some of the people I've taken care of in nursing homes that were really good knitters, they remembered a lot of stuff up until the end. Or crocheters, all those crocheters in the nursing home, they remember everything too. I think it's because their brain is always being used. Because this is a craft that will actually help enhance your brain. Because you're constantly, it's so intricate. And when you're yarning, you're just working that problem solving part of your brain. So it actually is very therapeutic. People don't realize if you do stuff with purpose where you're learning and making your brain move every day, you're just going to be better off mentally wise. And it is true. Some of the great, I've taken care of some very intelligent people, and they always done something that where they had to make their mind move. Like this one guy, I used to put him, get him up, put him in his electric wheelchair, and he had a business on Amazon, and he would get up and work his business every single day. And I mean, he was working his brain every day. So if you do computer work when you get older and you're managing stuff like my resident, you really can help yourself a lot. You really can. Because he had his mind with him. He was still running a business and everything. And he was pretty old. And it does keep you smarter. And I mean, you can do stuff on your computer, but sometimes, if your computer's not handy or if you're waiting on a computer like me, you can always do this in between time. I don't think you should do one thing all the time. I think I'm all for switching up hobbies. I mean, let's get real. I get tired of just knitting. So I'll go watch TV or I'll do this or I'll do that. And I'm all for you should like explore your options with it so you won't get burnt out. And I do. I put it up and I put my stuff in a bag. I just have it in like one of these bags. What we can do in that, and I would recommend you doing the beginning videos for knitting if you were interested in something like that. And there's guys that are actually are on there, and they're pretty damn good knitters. I was really impressed by some of these men that are knitting. They kind of give the nursing home ladies a run for their money. Yeah, they do very well. I give them a lot of credit because they're the reason that I'm halfway decent, is because of these YouTube knitters over here. When you go to get a how to knit video over at TikTok, you get all this knitting styles where people are just doing their own thing, and I don't want to have to learn a completely different person's method when there's a normal method that from there you can get a lot of different stitches. If you're gonna make a blanket, you want to make a nice one. I mean, come on, this is what we do. We try to make things nice. I mean, why not? Nice is trying to make things nice in your life is a good thing. So, but I guess no one wants their fortune told today, which I honestly cannot tell fortunes. I can answer questions, tell you what the spirits say, but how you decipher the answer is how you decipher it, I guess. But I guess the main focus is I'm over here chilling with Chong and us hanging out too. Because, I mean, if I'm doing a free reading, I wouldn't mind talking to you too. I'm not rude like that. So, I'm gonna do one more row with this. And I think now is probably not the best time, but you never know what you're gonna get in the afternoon stream. And it's okay. I thank you for listening. And if you'd like me, I'm not gonna, you know, your subscribe button. They always, I don't know, that epic guy always says it a very nice way. And if I'm not really your style, it's okay. I mean, I would not do subscribe in there, and I would not tell you to read something or eat something you don't like. It's being rude. So, And I don't mind. I'm not starving. I'm not homeless. I'm not struggling. I'm just trying something out on my bucket list. So if you like me, or if you want to give me some kind of something you might want to see, I would be open for this kind of thing as long as it's not crazy. I mean, I'm over here because I get crazy people that say they're in love with me over there trying to scam me, so that's why I'm here. It's much better. I'm not getting trying to get scammed. Nobody bothers me. It's very nice. And I probably it's 6:30, so it's probably early in the day and the kids are on the phone, so that probably doesn't help. But I'm here. And I figured, I wanted to at least do an hour stream and get some of my knitting done and touch base with you guys on life, on things. Since this is my Facebook Messenger now, I think of things in different kinds of ways. So, and I do want to get to know other people other than Facebook people. So I'm honored that I hit 211. So let me, okay, whatever it is, the 4 or 5 people. I think it might have been five. I'm not sure. But to the my few people that came, thank you, and I I'm glad you actually like my stuff because honestly, it's humbling. You see all these artists that are way more important than me putting out these incredible videos, and it's like they're like God singing up there, and stuff, and it's incredible. And the whole world watches. And then there's the grungy one, trying to figure out what I'm going to say. This is what the state of my affairs in my life. The grungy one doesn't have very deep thoughts all the time. I don't. I don't think deep. This is why I'm a good biased person. I could give you, I guess being biased is good because I would give you truth and I wouldn't take sides. That's why some people don't like me. And I'm okay with that. You gotta be able to accept truth in this world because it's one of our core elements. It really honestly is. Truth is more important than anything that exists on this earth. Because knowing the absolute truth gives you full free will. Or just knowing that something's not the truth gives you free will. Because you're awakening your free will. But that's how these things run. But my eyes are starting to burn now. So I figure at least I do some kind of stream over here. And I hope my friends over here are well. And I'm very happy that 4 people found me interesting. And I celebrate even the 4 people I get. Because I feel in life you should be grateful for everything and not ungrateful because things could be taken away as easily as you got them, it could be taken away. And I'm not trying to have bad karma, so I appreciate you, each of one of you guys, and you must love my grungy streaming. So I'm gonna try to improve on the grungy streaming. I feel I'm getting better. Like I said, give me constructive criticism, and I'll try to improve. But I mean, I'm kind of doing this for a fun project to see if I'm capable of doing this. I have a plan B in life. I have a job still. So I'm just hoping I can work less at that job because I don't think I'm ever really allowed to leave. They hold me, they hold me hostage sometimes. I feel. You get on the floor, you start doing your nursing stuff. The next thing you know, it's like kabam, this happens, kabam, that happens, and then before you know it, you're having a mental breakdown. So, like I said, that's why it's nice, and I get to unwind and think about something different, and it's relaxing because sometimes, I come home, all my friends are busy, so I'm technically talking to someone. I mean, everybody's busy. Through COVID, everybody stayed by themselves, and a lot of people do stay by themselves. So I'm trying to adjust. And I figure I gotta work tomorrow. Then after work, I'll try to do a stream like this tomorrow. And then I do my video because I just released Scorn Lovers. It's just an idea of a small, tiny story. Sometimes it cuts off in the worst times, and I have to get a better phone. I really do. But that's within time. I mean, I'm slowly getting my life together. And I'm very good with money, so I know what money to spend and what money not to spend. And I'm doing okay. So I don't want anybody feel sorry for me, but I'm kind of do this because I just want to prove a point that people could do more than one thing in life. I am very good at medical, but I could be good at other things. I can't sing. I wish I could, but I can't. I'm not any kind of a stretch of Mariah Carey. I'm more of weird Al Yankovic, so it would go awful because I don't have those kind of talents. I mean, writing is a very solitary and I guess boring thing, but it involves a lot of thinking, and maybe that's why I'm always, I don't know, on top of my game with money because I'm always thinking about writing too and thinking about numbers. But this is what I do, so I love the numbers. So, but since no one's in the stream today, I am going to let you guys go. And I'm gonna do some promotional work over at Facebook. I think I might take a picture with the glasses. I tried a new hairstyle today after I took out my braids. So thank you for listening, and I hope this is a good stream for somebody in the future. Thank God. I don't. I do not trust when people be calling and acting crazy. These private numbers just. I mean, anybody can call you for private, so you don't know who it could be. And if they don't want to say who they are, I'm not trying to call them back. I'm good. Because it's usually up to some shady stuff. And I don't like shady things. So, but I'm gonna let this stream go, and I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come on later, but I'll come on tomorrow. I'm gonna. I know I made an effort, and I didn't do it yesterday, but I am trying to make an effort after my story inside without Chong. And thank you from Chong the dog, and I will be on, even if it's just for a half hour, just to see if anybody's out there or something. And I hope everybody has a blessed day.